So today we're going to talk about arc length. So how do we find the length of the arc? So length of the arc is basically the distance or a piece of a circle of a whole circumference. Now the whole circumference of a circle can also be considered as a arc length as well. It's just the length of the whole entire circle, full revolution. Now, here are some new variables that you're going to see. So in finding the arc length, we're going to use S as the variable to figure out the length of the arc. And the S, we use that to show that it subtends to that angle. So it opens up to that angle measure. Now, it could be angle measure in degrees or angle measure in radian. This formula is used for radian measure. That's why we're learning this. So take that into consideration. Now, theta here is going to be in radian measure. So if they ask you to find the length of an arc of 45 degrees, then you will convert that 45 degrees in radian, which is pi over 4, and then figure out the length. Of course, you need to know the radius of the circle. So because one radius length here is 1 radian measure. That's why the whole circle is 2 pi radian. So the formula is going to look like S is equal to theta times R. So theta is the radian measure of the circle that you're going to find the length of the arc. So let's do 2 examples. So here's one. I want to find the length of the arc of the circle. Now they want you to figure out 315 degrees, and this circle has a radius of 11 feet. So first of all, you want to convert the 315 into radian. So we're going to multiply by pi over 180. And when we simplify, it's going to look like that. We can simplify further. Since we're going to find this to the nearest tenth, then you can just put it in the calculator and get in decimal form. And don't round too much. And you get 5.4978. Now, notice it's almost a full circle, right? The full circle will be 2 pi, and 2 pi is about 6.28. So notice this is a little bit smaller than 2 pi. So just notice that when you do calculations, right? Look at the number sense of, oh, does this measurement look right? Now that you have this in radian mode, you're going to plug it into the formula. S is equal to theta times R. So S is equal to theta times R. Theta, we just found it in radian, so you're going to plug in radian, put the radius, and the distance around this circle, or the distance of this arc, would be 60.5 feet. All right, so when you have it in degree measure, you change it into radian, and then you plug it into the formula. Now, what about if they give you a radian measure that's not in pi form? So find the radius of a circle whose radius is 5, and we want to find the angle that is formed of 2 radians. So what is the arc length? So here, 2 radians. So if you think about 2 radians, the whole circle has 2 pi radians. 2 pi radians is about 6.28. So you can kind of imagine 2 radians going to be about less than 180 degrees. So you're going to plug in the radius, which is 5. 2 radians, it's already in radian measure, so you plug in 2 here. So the arc length is going to be 10. So the length of the arc of a circle whose radius is 5, that subtends to radian, is 10 inches.